Hi students, today we're going to discuss about recursion in C programming, very important topic. So we're going to see the definition in this. So very simple definition, easy one. See, the definition is very simple here. You can able to see recursion is the process which comes into existence when function calls a copy of itself. What do you mean by function? Function is nothing but it will going to do one particular task. The task will going to call another same function. Like main function will going to call the main function. So it will going to call the same copy itself. So this one we will call it as recursion. Okay. So itself to work on a smaller problem. Think like that we have a problem. So there are a number of problems will be there. So I wanted to solve any kind of problem. That time what I will going to do? So I will going to divide that problem into a number of subtasks. So that subtask can be achieved by the recursion. That's what they are saying very clearly. Recursion is the process which comes into existence when a function calls a copy of itself. Function, this one is very, very important. Functions calls a copy of itself to work on a smaller problem. Okay. So this is the definition here. So one by one, we have a certain points over here. One by one, we will going to look into this. Any function which calls itself is called as recursive function. See, they have said very clearly and very evidently here. You can able to see itself. If any function which calls itself is called it as recursive function. Nothing but if I create a function, call it as a main function. So again, I will going to call that same function. I will going to show you in a experimentally. I will going to show you. So how the same function will going to call itself. Okay. Such functions are called as, such functions are called recursive calls. These are all called it as recursive calls. When we will call it as recursive call, the copy of that function, okay, the copy of that function calls itself. So think like you will going to create a function. So that same function will going to be called again. Okay, again and again, again and again. If the function is calling that same copy of its own frame, so then it is called it as recursive call. Okay, so this is very clear. I think this first point is very clear. So we're going to see this one in practical through IDE, that is code blocks. So for the first point, we can able to understand here in practical manner. We have a function. You can able to see the function, that is main function. Okay, so this is my main function. You can able to see this. What is the intention of this main function? It will going to perform one particular task. If you mention like printf, what I will going to do, sorry, I will going to write in printf. Here just I will going to say hello Nemesis Tech. Okay. So what happens when I run this statement, this simple statement, when I start running this statement, it will going to execute that one particular statement. You can able to see hello Nemesis Tech. So when we call this statement recursively, I wanted to execute this statement again and again, again and again. Okay, so that we will call it as recursive, or we can able to do that one recursive one. So this function you can able to understand here. Okay, so based on the functions, okay, so how you going to call the function, how you create a function call. So that is main, close the brackets, again semicolon. See, when the control comes here, you can able to see when the control comes here, so immediately it enters into the code, nothing but block or body. So immediately it will going to print this. Again the control comes here. When it see the function call main, so immediately the controls go back to again main function. Again it will going to print the hello. Again and again, again and again, same copy of the function will be called. So this process we will going to call as a recursive call. Okay, we will going to execute this one. Very simple. You can able to see it is executing recursively. At certain point, it will going to stop. Okay, so this is very, very important. You must understand this one. So I will make it little bit harder. Now see, it will going to create a memory for every frame main function. Okay, we have a main function. For this main function, so it will going to create a memory for every main function. When it calls recursively, at certain point the memory will going to be overloaded. That time the compiler will going to stop. So this one we will call it as recursive calls. Okay, so this main function, you can able to see this main function, so calling again and again its own code by itself. You can able to see function call. So by itself, it is calling again and again. This one we will call it as recursive call. So we'll go to the next point. Again, you can able to see recursion involves several number of recursive calls. As I mentioned in that program, so it will going to have a several number of recursive calls. You have seen that. So it is calling again and again, many times, several times it is calling. Okay, so that's why it is called it as several number of times recursive call is happening here. Yes or not? That's very clear. Again, we're going to see. However, it is important to impose the termination condition for a recursion. So anyway, so when you are doing recursive calls, we must impose certain termination condition to stop the task or to stop the recursion. So that is also very, very important. We will going to discuss further about that. Recursion code is shorter than iterative code. However, it is difficult to understand. We know that very clearly. Recursion code is very shorter than iterative code, but everyone says that it is very difficult to understand. Always recursion gives a lot of problem to students. It is unable to understand to them. So we have to understand very clearly, very slowly we have to go into that. So we like that. Again, recursion cannot be applied to all the problems. Okay, exactly. We cannot able to apply this recursion to every problem. So certain limitations are also available here. Okay, but it is more useful for the tasks that can be defined in terms of similar subtasks. So you can able to use somewhere. Okay. For example, recursion may be applied to sorting, searching, traversal problems, all the places you can able to use this one. Generally, iterative solutions are more efficient than recursion. Sometimes you can able to see for loop, all those are iterative solutions. So, but compared to recursion and iterative solutions are little bit effective than recursion. Okay, since function call is always overrated. What do you mean by overrated? I will going to discuss about that. Don't worry. So, any problem that can be solved recursively can also be solved iteratively. So that's what. No need to use every time recursion. You can able to use iteratively by using for loop, while, do while, like that. You can able to solve the problem. There is no problem in that. So just we have to work on a particular thing, that is code optimization. However, some problems are best suited to solve by recursion. So example, tower of an eye, Fibonacci series, factorial, so many things are there, so many examples. So these problems can be solved easily. So by using recursion, that is one better technique if you use the recursion. So when I say function call override, it is nothing but very simple one here. So always, what is this function call override is nothing but when it simplifies the design. So whatever the design you will going to create a program, in that program, it will going to make it very simple code, again, very easy to understand. So like that, it will going to be completely simplifies your entire structure of the program. That's what we call it as design. So when override is negligible, okay. So when it is abstracts a task, nothing but when you do the recursion, you cannot able to see that exactly where that control is moving to the subtask. Like that, you cannot able to understand. That's why it is a abstract a task. When it a abstract a task, when it hides or protects the data. So nothing but it will completely we can able to see it is kind of security which will provide it to data by using recursion. Okay, when it consists of at least few lines of code, very few lines of code, that's what I told you very clearly. So we can able to optimize the code without writing iterative methods, like more lines of code we can able to write for iterative method. But when it comes to the recursion, we can able to write least lines. Okay, so that's what we can able to decrease the program size. That is also one important thing over here. Okay. Recursive function. So there are certain conditions are there. You can able to see a recursive function performs the task by dividing into subtasks. So think like that. There will be one uh, huge task. That huge task will be divided into a number of subtasks. So there is a termination condition defined in the function which is satisfy the specific subtask. So nothing but always when you do the recursion, you should have a termination condition for that particular subtask. Always you need to understand this one. So we have to maintain the termination condition for every subtask. After this, the recursion stops and final result is returned from the function. So when you mention these kind of rules, by providing termination condition, automatically it will going to be terminated and the subtask will going to return the result to that function. The case at which the function does not recur is called as base case. Nothing but, so in the base case it will not going to recur. Okay, so that is what we need to understand. Whereas the instance where the function keeps calling itself to the perform a subtask, so when it base class helps you to recurse, but it does not recur. Okay, so that's what we need to understand, is call it as recursive case. Always you should be understand when the control moves to that particular subtask, immediately it will become recursive. Okay, all the recursive functions can be written using this format. So you can able to see the Pisto code. Okay, so here you can able to see, if test this base case, if the base case is true, return this some value. Okay, return this value. Okay, else test another condition, nothing but another base condition. Else if test another base condition, if it is true, return another value. Again, if both are false, okay, if the test condition is false, it will go to else part. Here also, if the test base condition is false, it will go to the else part. Again, it will going to create a recursive call. This is the complete definition of the recursive function regarding recursion. Okay, basically you need to understand this definition very clearly, so then we can able to perform the programs, all those things very easily we can able to write it. So small example, you can able to see, this is a mathematical structure for factorial problem. You can able to see this factorial, how we will going to write a recursive call for this. Okay, for factorial. So you can able to see this mathematical expression, n factorial is equal to, if the condition, so suppose that's what we call it as, if the condition, if n is equal to 0, it will going to return 1. If n is greater than 0, it will going to return n minus 1 factorial into n. So based on this condition, we have to write a program. So small program they have written, so you can able to understand this program. So they have so coded very clearly. You can able to see, so there is a function that is called it as factorial function. If n compared with 0, so if n value is 0, immediately it will going to return the value 1, else it will going to create a recursive call. This function name, you can able to see that function, so return n into factorial of n minus 1, nothing but function name with n minus 1. Oh, this one we call it as recursive over. This factorial of n minus 1 will going to create a recursive work. Okay, so this is called it as recursive function. We will going to see this one in real manner by writing the program on factorial in next part. So thank you very much.